If you're buying your first home in the Lansing area, you've probably heard a lot of advice from friends, family, or even HGTV. And quite honestly, that stuff that you are seeing is quite outdated and some of it is just flat out wrong. So in this video, I'm gonna be talking to you about the top 10 lies that many first-time homebuyers believe. And be sure to stay tuned until the end of the video because I'm gonna show you a time when I typically see first-time homebuyers look like this. So let's get started with this next episode of Lansing Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area, and I get phone calls from all over the country, even all over the world, from people who are just like you watching this channel, people who are looking to make a move here to the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. So if that's you and you're looking to move here in 9 days, 90 days, 9 months from now, if you're a first time home buyer, if you've bought homes many times, whatever type of buyer you might be, feel free to contact me anytime. All my contact information, it's in the description below. Also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel because we have new episodes of Lansing Michigan Live going live once or twice a week, and you're not gonna wanna miss a new episode once it does go live. And also, give me a thumbs up if you like the content of this video. Man, my eyes, I'm trying to do that expression to show you guys. I had to kind of give it a little bit of a massage there from that. Again, stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll show you what I mean by that because you're probably like, what was he doing, right? So 10 lies. And even if you're not a first time home buyer, if you've looked at homes many times, these will be kind of humorous to you. Maybe you'll remember that first time you bought your first home. And some of these might be a little bit more particular to Lansing, Michigan. A lot of them are just in general, whatever area you might go to. This is how first time home buyers are, what they typically might believe. But one thing I want to tell you before I get into this, I really do like working with first-time home buyers. So I just want to let you know that they're some of my favorite buyers to work with. They're very teachable. Even though they might ask a lot of questions, they're eager to learn. I really like working with first-time home buyers. I just want to start off with that before I get into these top 10 because I don't want you to think like I'm just slamming first-time home buyers and they don't know anything, right? I'm just trying to give you a reality check, those of you who might be looking at a home for the first time. Let's get into the first thing. The first lie that many home buyers believe is that you need 20% down to buy a home. You need 20% down payment to buy a home. And I'm gonna address this in two different directions, okay? The first thing that I want everybody to realize, yes, if you have 20% down, great. But also you are forgetting that you have to pay closing costs, which is, depending on the price point, can be 2% to 3% of the purchase price. So you'll have to pay in prepaid closing costs. So I want you, those of you at 20% down, I don't want you to think like that's all I'm gonna need because there's gonna be other expenses like that. There's gonna be inspections that you're gonna have to potentially pay for, appraisal. So there are other expenses than just the 20% down. That's one side. The other side, those of you who do not have 20% down to put towards a house, don't get so stressed about it. You can still afford a home. There are plenty of programs that give you, that allow for you to give 10% down or even 5% or 3% of the purchase price down. There are even some programs in Michigan. One of the ones that's really popular right now is the Michigan State Housing Development Authority, MSHDA loan, that give lower interest rates. They give you a first-time home buying class that you can take. That's one of the requirements, but you can pay as little as 0% down, and they even give you down payment assistance. And so these can be great programs. You do have to make a certain income to be able to qualify, but those income limits have gone up significantly. Also, the purchase prices for first-time home buyers have gone up significantly. So that's definitely one of the loan types that you want to check out when you do move here. So you definitely don't have to have 20% down in order to purchase a home, okay? Number two, this is a common one that I hear across the nation, is wait until prices drop. Wait until prices drop because the housing bubble's gonna burst. Guess what? That's a flat out lie too, okay? Because right now, in the last, especially 4 or 5 years, there are so many home buyers that have not been able to find what they want that there's just this pent-up demand of people looking, and all these people are waiting for the bubble to burst. So can you imagine, let's say the home prices do drop, let's say that comes true. Do you really think that there's not gonna be all sorts of people who are going to be going at the same time trying to find that deal? And then what's that gonna do? It's gonna make the home prices go up. It's the same way with the interest rates going down, okay? If the interest rates go further down, that's going to open up the pool to more buyers. buyers, that's gonna make the home prices go up. And my team, other agents in our area, there are plenty of people that are looking for the right time to buy a house, or they've lost out in so many bids because they've been competing. There are plenty of people still looking for a home, so you have to be aware of that. So don't hear the advice of wait until the prices go down and then buy. This might not be a good time to buy, because I'm telling you, prices are not gonna go down anytime soon. Lie number 3 that people believe is just rent until prices go down. Just rent until prices go down. Here's my philosophy with that. Over the last couple years, the amount of money that you pay in rent versus the amount of money you pay in a mortgage has been pretty even. Or it might even be a little more expensive to buy a house than to rent. I don't want you to think that I'm gonna give you this fact of, hey, the amount of money that people are paying to rent and the amount of money that people pay on their mortgage payment, there's a huge gap between it. Because quite honestly, it's actually more favorable in renting right now because the home prices are a lot higher. However, this is what I will tell you when it comes to renting versus owning or buying a house, is that the average renter's net worth in the United States is around $6,000 for that person, the average net worth for that person. While homeowners, if you own a home, the average in the United States is around $250,000. That's like a 40-to-1 ratio of greater net worth. And so I'm saying that because even if it's like within a few $100s, again, I said home prices aren't going down, right? So I don't want you to miss the opportunity to be able to potentially buy a home. There are so many people right now that are stuck in renting because they can't afford it. Their credit scores might be bad or they waited too long. Don't be one of those people that has been waiting too long and now they can't afford it and now they're priced out. Because the first-time home buyer base has gone up significantly, especially in the last 5 years. You could maybe find a decent home for $150,000 for a first-time home, 2-3 bedroom home. Now that's gone up to over $200,000. And if you pay on your mortgage payment on a $200,000 home purchase price is roughly, it could be anywhere from $1,800 to $2,000 a month for that, depending on what your taxes are, your insurance. So again, I would hate for you to get the advice from people of, oh, just rent right now because it's cheaper to rent. No, I mean, yeah, it might be cheaper in the short term, but in the long term, you wanna build equity into a house. Okay, number 4 lie. Do not believe it. Find a house first, then talk to a lender. It's wrong in so many ways. And what I mean by that is start seeing homes. Not find a house first, you can't go under contract without a lender, right? But start looking on Zillow, start looking on realtor.com, start looking on homes.com, look on the internet, find a house, then request a showing, and then find a lender later. Honestly, it's one of the fastest ways to get your heart broken. Because if you walk into a house, you see it, you love it, and you haven't talked with a lender, then you gotta speak with the lender. In your mind, you might have what you can afford, but the lender's gotta look at your debts, your income, your tax statements. That could paint an entirely different story. And so you could have in your mind, this is what we can afford, and then you come to find out, hey, guess what? I can't get approved for this much. And then your heart's broken and you're sad. So a lot of it's trying to protect your emotion that goes into this, because buying a home is an emotional sale. Because a home is a home, that's a place you wanna feel comfortable. You go to that place every single day. You wanna feel comfortable in that home, right? So talk with a lender first to see how much you are approved for. They'll be able to run numbers for you, okay? Then find that house. What I'm noticing happening, especially in the last year or two, is it's almost like a sticker shock for first-time home buyers. See, they see a house that they want to buy, and then they get with their lender to be like, hey, can you crunch the numbers for me? And I list a lot of homes in the area, so I will hear from people, hey, my client, they are interested in this house. They are ready to go. You might be getting an offer soon. I get that a lot. And then all of a sudden, I don't hear anything from them. I've been noticing that a lot more lately. And I feel part of the reason for that is because then they get with their lender and the lender says, well, you gotta pay for this is how much your monthly payment would be. And then they're like, whoa, I didn't think my monthly payment would be that much. And they get cold feet and they don't even give an offer. Okay, so you've gotta get with your lender. You gotta have an idea, have a plan, what you're approved for, what you're comfortable with your monthly payment. Hopefully that realtor that's showing homes to you, which is hopefully me, right? Hopefully they can give you an idea of what the taxes are going to be and tell you about the insurance stuff and the other costs that maybe you're not thinking of. That's gonna be so important. No, get with a lender first, then start looking at homes. Number 5 lie that many first-time homebuyers believe is that your mortgage payment is just principal and interest, and that's it. So you see a $200,000 house, you're like, oh, interest rates, 6.5%. I'll just take the calculator on my phone and I'll start plugging it in. And then I'll come up with this and be like, hey, look, this is how much our payment would be. This isn't so bad. Okay, there is an acronym known as PITI. PITI. So the first half is principal and interest. Second half is taxes and insurance. And if you go on Zillow or realtor.com, thing you have to be aware of is that they do have a mortgage calculator. They will show you that stuff. I don't know if Zillow or even realtor.com is really going to accurately know what the taxes are going to be in the future. That's why it's important for you to get with a loan officer when you do see a home to be like, hey, what can my taxes look like in the future? What is this going to look like? That's gonna be an important thing for you to know. And honestly, like within a couple miles sometimes, the taxes could be a savings of around $200 a month on what your mortgage payment would be. Because there are some areas, like in the closer to city areas, that have a much higher tax millage, and then you kind of go a little bit outside of there, then you're in a little different taxing township. It could save you hundreds of dollars a month by just being in a different area. So it's important for you to realize that not only is it principal and interest, but you gotta add in the taxes. The insurance is an average of $150 a month right now. You gotta include that in there as well, because what banks do is they just combine everything all together. So you just pay it off all at once, and then the bank kind of takes care of your tax payments that happen twice a year, and then your homeowner's insurance payment that happens one time a year. Number 6 lie that many first-time homebuyers believe is that the home inspector is going to find everything. And for people who are looking for a new build, and maybe it's your first time buying and you're buying a new build, that new builds, they're maintenance free. I put this all into one because it has to do with like the house getting it inspected. This is a lie that you cannot believe. And I say this because an inspector, they do their best job that they can, but they're not gonna find absolutely everything. There's some things that are hidden behind drywall. It could be a sunny day when you have your inspection, and you have no idea that when a rainy day happens that your basement gets flooded. That's why it's always best to have your inspections on a rainy day. And I just recently had an inspection where we had it on a rainy day, and it was great because we were able to see like leaks in the roof, all of that. I mean, it can be a great thing. You don't necessarily want snowy weather, because then when snow gets on that roof, you're not gonna be able to see the age of the roof. Your inspector is not gonna be able to find everything. What you have to have is a realistic expectation that they're gonna have a list of things. They're gonna have a list of probably 30 to 40 things. They're looking for every single thing. It's gonna be very thorough. But also you can't be like, oh, there's 40 things wrong. Like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong with this house, okay? Again, there's gonna be some things that are even gonna be missed in that 30 to 40 item list. Okay, but then again, a lot of people have an assumption that if it's a new build, I don't have to have it inspected. And I've had inspections happen for new builds when they are done where the inspector says the grading's off, you gotta fix that. There might be some leaks somewhere. There might be some things that were not maybe caulked properly. It happens. I mean, like builders, they're human, okay? Like I'm not saying that they're perfect whatsoever. So it's good to have an inspector, a second set of eyes helping you out. With inspections, know that there's gonna be a lot of things that come up, but the inspector's not gonna find everything. A good realtor will tell you what type of inspections you need to have. I always have people do a sewer scope. If the sewer line out to the street is older, there's just other things to be able to know. So keep that in mind. And also with new builds, still have an inspection. I'm dead serious with that. A new house will still have potentially some problems with it as well. Okay, number 7 lie that many first-time homebuyers believe, and maybe some of you watching this are parents, so hopefully I'm not going to offend you. It's your parents should help make the final decision. That your parents should help make the final decision. This is no disrespect to parents. I love my parents, I honor my parents, but there comes a time to where you start making your own decisions as a child. But there are still some children that still rely on advice, and a lot of times the parents haven't bought a home for a really long time, like for 15, 20, 25 years. And that process looks different. And sometimes the parents even hear how much the payment might be, and they're like, you're paying that much? This is how much my payment is. And they just build anxiousness within their kid. First-time homebuyers, I'm not saying like don't ask them for some advice, but your parents, they love you. They want what's best for you. I'm a parent myself. I want what's best for my kid. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, and you have to know whether it's gonna be a right decision for you. Your parents can't make it for you. And that's why it helps to have a trusted agent help you out who knows what they're doing, who you can trust, who is in the thick of it day in and day out. I mean, I recently had somebody within the last few years, they looked at a home in Hazlet, Michigan. It was their first time buying a house. It was a great deal. And they had the inspections. The parents saw the inspection report. Again, they haven't done this for years. So they're like, oh, all this stuff is wrong and you can't deal with this and blah, 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 blah. Because again, they're trying to look out for their kid. You know, I get it. But parents, if you really love your kids, you're going to want them to make their own decisions. You want them to be good adults in life, okay? You definitely do. So this person, great deal, inspections came up. No, we didn't even get to inspections, I'm sorry. Now I'm remembering this story even more as I'm telling it. We put in an offer, it's competing. We win the offer. It's like a $113,000 house. And he talks with his parents and the parents say, oh, you know, this isn't a good time to be able to do this. I wouldn't do this. Like, I wouldn't do it. I went, okay. Well, that same house right now would be worth $180,000 to $200,000 because the prices haven't gone down. So I bring that up to tell you it's your choice, it's your decision. Again, get with a trusted agent who's not just in it for the money, but they're in there to help you with your best interest in mind. And hopefully your parents can trust them to be like, hey, you know, this person knows what they're doing. They're the professional. So hopefully they can help you out, okay? Number 8 lie that many first-time homebuyers believe is that the Zillow Zestimate tells you the home value. Okay, if you've ever been on Zillow's site, it'll show you for sale what the purchase price is. But then further down on the page, it'll say a Zestimate. And sometimes those estimates can be off from what the purchase price is. Or you might be interested in a home before it goes for sale in the market and you start seeing home price and you're like, man, Zillow says the house is worth this much. Well, you know what Zillow doesn't take into account is the updates that were done. The square footage could be off. Myself as an agent, what I do is I do a comparative market analysis for you to make sure that this is in line with where it should be. But what I do not want to hear as an agent is that Zillow says this, because you know what? Zillow is not gospel, okay? They are not the gospel to you, okay? They are not going to tell you everything that you must know, and it's not truth, okay? What they do is they take and steal all of this information from other sites, including our MLS. They just steal things and then they come up with in their algorithm an analysis of what the actual home price is, and it's off many times. So do not count on the Zillow's estimate to tell you how much a home is worth. Okay, just saying. Number 9 lie that many first-time homebuyers believe is that your agent can tell you about crime or safety. And I bring this up because I think a lot of times people lean on us as agents, real estate agents, that we can tell them like, hey, is this a good neighborhood? Hey, is it safe here? So when I first became a realtor, I had to sign a document that I would abide by fair housing laws. And fair housing laws, what they are is that you will not steer somebody to one area and say like, hey, this area is unsafe, so I'm gonna steer you over here. That is against our code of ethics. What I can do as an agent is I can direct you to resources for where you can look it up yourself and you can come up with an informed decision yourself. So as realtors, we cannot tell you things about crime, safety. We can't say to you, oh yeah, there's families over here everywhere. You can drive through it and see who's driving around, but based on discrimination, like I can't do that. I'm not able or allowed to do that. So yes, as an agent, I can be a valuable resource to you for facts, for strategy in an offer, for negotiating. But the one thing I can't do is I can't influence your decision based upon what would be fair housing, like crime, safety, anything that could discriminate, anything like that. So just wanted you to be aware if this is your first time potentially buying, and maybe you didn't even know that if this is your second, third, fourth time buying a house as well. Okay, the last thing. Number 10 lie. Why in the world, Troy, at the end, did you look around like this, okay? Like a deer in the headlights. Okay, last lie is that touring homes is not like HGTV. Touring homes is not like HGTV. What happens when it's your very first time seeing a home? You get so excited to see it and you have no idea what you're doing. You're like, we're going through our house. Oh my gosh, this is our first time going through. So many times when I see first-time homebuyers walking through a house, literally, I will walk in, I'll open the door and they'll just kind of like look at each other. If there's somebody else with them, like, oh, okay. Like what do we do? Because in their mind, they have an expectation like, hey, they watched House Hunters. They watched, any of the HGTV TV shows that show the home buying process. And those shows are great. They're great entertainment, but it's not how the process works. When we do a showing and we walk through it, they're like, maybe they were anticipating that I was gonna turn on all the lights for them and just take them on a tour. And really what we do is we walk through and I look at everything and I see everything. But I'm not gonna be like, and here's the living room right over here with a fireplace that you can enjoy. I don't sell like that. That's not how it goes. We walk through, we tour it together. I give you my advice, but I want you to get the flow and the feel of the home. And on these TV shows, they make it seem like the agent's like a touring agent that's like, here's the primary bedroom. Oh, look at and again, we're TV editors. They gotta make good TV. That's just the way it is. Just realize the whole process too, even with inspectors, there's things that happen throughout the process that could not be all that great and not all that amazing, like what TV makes it out to be. I just want you in your head to take off the HGTV hat and lies that you see. Take it off. Okay, and come into this with a realistic expectation that I'm just gonna go tour these homes with somebody I trust and know they're gonna give me good advice and they're gonna help me out throughout this entire process. So again, hopefully this is beneficial to all of you. I had a lot of fun just being able to talk about these lies. But if this is your first time, your third time, your 10th time looking to buy a home, and you need somebody to help you out, please contact me. All my contact information is in the description below. Call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom at any time. I will always answer. I'm never too busy to take your call, take your Zoom call, or answer your email. Also, if you haven't already, please like this video if you like the content and subscribe to my channel because we're gonna continue to have many episodes like this going live. So that's it for this episode of Lansing, Michigan Life. And until next time, make it a great day. Take care.